small business owner who may need financing to buy a building or purchase equipment or acquire new inventory or needs financing for something, if you're dealing with a banker, our guest says there are a few things that you should keep in mind. One of which is that in banking, as with so many things, relationships are critical. Gene Marks is the founder of the Marks Group, a company that provides technology and consulting services to small and medium businesses. He writes for the New York Times and Inc. magazine and is also author of the new book, The Manufacturer's Book of Lists. Great to see you, Gene.
Great to be here, JJ.
Okay, so bankers, you have a whole reality checklist for bankers.
Well, there is, and this actually comes from a piece I wrote for Entrepreneur magazine as well. And there is a reality check. I mean, I've learned a lot about dealing with bankers over the past few years. And first, let me just say, the banking industry has changed a lot. There are really, really good people in the banking industry. And, I always tell clients I like community banks very much as well. I mean, they have that kind of a relationship with their clients that is very valuable. But things have come about that I've learned about dealing with a banker. I mean, for starters, people overrate their actual relationship with their individual banker. When you are dealing with your banking guy, the loan officer, the person that you're trying to get financing from, that person, JJ, generally is not the boss, is not the person making the decision. Usually he is like, or she is a data gatherer because they're going back to their credit department to make the decisions that need to be made. So whenever people are talking about building a relationship with your banker, it is very important to do that with that individual one-on-one, but there are other people behind the scenes that you also need to build a relationship with.
And can you get to those other people?
Yeah, you really can. I mean, believe it or not, they try to keep themselves behind the scenes so that they're not having that kind of interaction with the banker. But if you've got a story to tell and you want to press yourself for getting the loans that you want to, you don't necessarily have to deal with just your loan officer or your relationship officer. You can ask to speak to the credit person that's behind the scenes that's making the judgment. And in some cases, they'll do that. And the smaller the banks, the more often they will do that.
Probably most people don't ask.
They really don't. And I tell you, for banks, they want to make the loans. They want to make money just like you want to get the finance. That's certainly one, right?
Okay, but then you also say, this is interesting, that the banker's benefit to you, or his biggest benefit, is not banking.
Yeah, it's consulting. It really is. I mean, I always look at business owners. They see the bankers coming in. They're asking for financial statements. They're asking for accounts receivable agings and, all sorts of data like that, or walking around your place. And people get defensive about it. I don't want to share that information with my banker. But, I mean, come on. These are experienced people. These are financial people. A lot of them have, MBAs and good pedigrees. They've seen lots of businesses just like yours. So, you should be inviting them in, actually, to not just share the information that they need, but to get feedback from them. Because they will give you feedback.
Also introductions.
From a source of referrals, I mean, that goes without saying. To be part of their community and for them to introduce you to people in that community.
Accountants, lawyers,
absolutely. But remember, I mean, they've looked at these financial statements just like yours 1,000 times. They're the ones that will say, you know what, this looks a little out of whack. Your inventory looks a little high. It's really nice to have an outside pair of eyes come into your business.
But then you say they're not the financial guy.
No, in the end, that's one guy, I mean, the loan officer, but just be prepared, okay? The guy that you have the main relationship with, the person that's coming, and by the way, when I say guy, I mean guys and girls. Whenever that person is coming out to your place, that person their job is to sell banking services. That really is. I mean, they're really a glorified salesman with a financial background. So, what I like to do is to get other people from the bank involved. There's always relationship people at the bank that will come out and give you advice on their specialty. Whether it's personal financial planning, it might be insurance, it might be on wealth management, it might be on inventory management.
So just understand who you're talking to and what their expertise is.
That's exactly right. Usually it's a person coming out there as like a traffic cop, and they're trying to generate more business for the bank and sell you more products, and that's fair enough because those products could benefit you. But just remember, it's generally a salesperson you're dealing with, not necessarily a financial guru. You want to try and involve yourself with other people that might be able to help your business. Which
leads us to your next point, which is certainly something most people aren't going to tell you because they are in sales. They're not the only banker in town.
No, they're not. And people get so wrapped up in this. It's like, oh my God, I got my checking account at this bank. I guess I got to get a loan from this bank as well and completely be in bed with this banker, for worse or for better. And that's just not true. I mean, smart business owners that I meet, they share the wealth around. They need financing for a piece of equipment. They get bids from different bankers to come on and give them that financing.
Yeah, not only bankers, too. There's so many interesting in the fintech world, all these financial products that are specific.
Exactly right. So there's equipment financing, there's technology financing. Don't be afraid by soliciting, there's people think they're going to ruin their relationship with their bankers. But again, it's a free market. The bankers are happy to have any relationship with you. And if you can get a better deal for a specific piece of equipment or a specific piece of property, go for it. You're not going to kill your banking relationship, believe me.
And then finally, this is so true. In love and money, they want you most when they can't get you.
100. And we just have to, you've heard it a million times, right? right, JJ? But I mean, come on, it's really, really true. I mean, the people that want to loan you the money, it's the time when you don't need the money. Accept that fact. So if you really are a risky bet, if you really need the money, you're going to find yourself getting a little frustrated dealing in the banking community.
Right.
And you may need to be going out to friends and family or using some alternative kinds of financing, even maybe credit card financing to pay the bills while you get to that level that a banker actually wants to seriously consider. Remember, they want to make money, but they don't want to take too much risk.
Right. All right. Well, Jean, so good to see you. Thank you
Thanks,
for
JJ.
this. We'll all remember it when we go to our banks.
Thanks.